Hey everybody, welcome back to Brainiac Baseball's 1983 Detroit Tigers season replay. Today we're going to take a look at the end of June season standings and league leaders. We're going to do something a little different for the league leaders though. We're going to take a look at the accumulation of the statistics over our current sim career. So we're going to see who are the leaders since we started the sim in 1980 through yesterday, the day of right here, June 30th. So I'm curious to see who the best players are since we've started this sim. And maybe we can determine that by looking at the league leaders. So we finished off the month with a loss, terrible one. We lost 4-0, never had a shot. I want to make one correction about this game. I did not honor a player of the game because I didn't really think anyone was worthy. And then upon reflection, I think I'm going to give it to Lance Parrish, who had 2 hits in the ballgame and also walked. So if you get on 3 times in a shutout, you were really doing a pretty good job. So we're going to give it to Lance Parrish. That's his 4th on the season. So let's take a look at the standings here. And yes, this is the first time I've looked at it. Wow. Now, not only are we tied for the lead of the division, the Yankees actually have more wins than us. Who would have thunk it? I never in a million years would have thought that by the end of June, we would be tied for first. If you look at the calendar, we scroll back a couple of months. We started out 21-5, and there's no way any baseball team can keep that pace. And then we went 16-11, maybe more indicative of our team status. We also suffered some injuries too. We lost Bert Blyleven and Dan Petrie, and then at the beginning of this month we lost Chet Lemon. So we've lost some integral players to our team for the season, but we have to march on. And 11-16 is pretty brutal, but yet it's only 5 games under for the month, and we find ourselves just tied with the Yankees and a half game back. So my initial thought is this will be a fun race to the end, but it might not be. I mean, we might just get blown by 3 teams, as Baltimore is only 5 back, and we have a 4-game series starting off the month of July. So we still are above the league average in batting average. We have the most home runs in the AL. We have the third most stolen bases in the AL. And despite our terrible pitching, it looks like the entire American League has jumped up to a 4.28 ERA, and we hold the 3rd best ERA in the American League. So it's only behind our toughest opponent, which is New York. We are going to play everybody in our division at least once before the end of the year, and then we'll finish up the final month and a half against the West. It's just the way the schedule turned out. So that'll be interesting to see how we do against the West as well as New York and Boston. So a tough road ahead of us. We also have some decisions to make before we take a look at the National League. If we go back to our calendar, we advance to the month of July. We have 7 games before the All-Star game, which will be really fun. I'm excited to see who on our team would possibly get, because we have so many average players, but we don't have anyone who really is the best at their position. So someone has to go. I'm guessing it's going to be Jack Morris with his 10-3 record, but I don't know. We have we have technically 4 games off. We'll be well rested coming out of the break, and we'll need it because we're going to face the Yankees and the Orioles once again. So, and the Blue Jays in Toronto, and despite having the worst record in baseball, they are like our arch nemesis right now. And then we have the end of the month. We have the trading deadline, July 31st. And so that is where things get tricky, because at what point do we decide whether we're buyers or sellers? I'm inclined to be buyers because we're going to lose so many players to expiring contracts, like major players at the end of the season. Ricky, we're never going to re-sign Ricky for $2.3 million. Our payroll is $6.3 right now. So Ricky's probably going to go, and we could trade him and get stuff for him, but we might just have to accept the fact that we need him for the stretch, and try to have him help us win. Eddie Murray, he's going to be gone because we have Greg Brock to play first, and he's been fantastic. Joaquin Andujar has been total shit, and I don't even want to start him again, but we got to have someone in there. We gave up Andre Dawson, who was also garbage for us, so I don't feel too bad about the trade. It just didn't work out. Guy Solars is going to arbitration. Roger Weaver, Dave Smith, and Dan Petrie, they will all be re-signed for whatever the least amount we can offer. I got short arms. I'm not going to be able to reach deep in the pockets. Maybe Guy Solars might be let go because we've got a couple good third basemen. We'll definitely re-sign the other three, and then we'll have to determine whether or not it's a sign and trade or what, depending on what our payroll is going to be. So we have some tough decisions there. Looks like California has a 4.5 game lead over Seattle and 5 over Oakland. What has gotten into Oakland? I do not know, but I guess it's their pitching, right? A 3.65 ERA, second best in the American League. Mike Warren, Larry White, Mike Norris, Rick Langford, and Matty Keogh. So pretty solid. The bullpen looks good. They just swapped out Joe Bever into the closer role. So that's interesting. Let's take a look at the National League real quick. The Mets have a decent lead in the East, 5.5 games over the Phillies and over Montreal. San Diego, a half game up on Atlanta. So Atlanta has traded themselves right into second place. This is the most messed up team in maybe all of baseball. They have done so many deals and jacked up their roster. No DH. Here we go. Jacked up the roster so badly, sending like Jeffrey Leonard batting .317 and Mitchell Page. They traded away Ken Smith, their first baseman, for Gerald Perry, who does have better ratings. And all Ken Smith has done for Toronto is hit 9 home runs since coming over there. So, I think the Braves sunk their own battleship. Funny enough, there's 3 teams in the National League that are over 100 stolen bases, all in the West. And Los Angeles is still in there despite having a pretty big losing streak. I think they lost double digits. I think they lost 11 games in a row at one point. So, okay. So I guess I don't know what we can ascertain from looking at these records at this point. I do find it very odd that we're at 600 exactly winning percentage at the end of June. If we look at our team here. We're within the 100 run. I feel like this is a conspiracy that maybe I've invented and maybe it's not going to come to pass, but I feel like the 600 winning percentage, the 100 run advantage for runs scored, and also I forgot what the other aspect was off the top of my head. Being within 20 games, above 500. I think that is, as we're at 16 above right now, I bet we'll come out of the break. We're going to win a few. We'll probably get it right back to that 20-game level. And I think that's going to be where we'll probably finish. Will the other teams cooperate? I don't know. All right, so moving along to the league leaders. This is going to be fun, I think. Let's take a look at the league leaders. I have it preset here for batting average. We're going to do the batting stats first, and then we'll take a look at pitching afterwards. We're not going to go through every category, but I think the ones that are most interesting. I have both leagues. So this is, the American and National League combined since we started in 1980 through today's ball games. So Wade Boggs is batting .324 overall. He has the best batting average so far. Johnny Ray, Willie McGee, George Brett. A lot of names here that you might expect until you get to Keith Drumright and Terry Poole. I don't know what Terry Poole did in real life. He was wow. So we started in 1980, so 301, 289, 287. So Terry Poole is too legit to quit. We've got Marty Barrett, Paul Molitor, Orlando Gonzalez, who I believe is in the minor leagues. Yep. And, obviously we have a laundry list of some of the best players of this era. There's a mistake that I made. Trading Rick Peters, who was listed as a second baseman when we had him. Now he's a center fielder and one of the best bats in the National League. So that didn't turn out too well for us. I think we traded him in the Jim Bibby deal, right? Yeah, Jim. Oh, we got Omar Marino and Jim Bibby. Bibby was awesome for like 12 starts, and then he just broke down that first season, the only season with us. Omar Marino had a good career with us for, short-lived as it was. Okay, so there's your batting average. Let's see what else we got here. Let's just see who's got the most at bats. Willie Randolph of the Yankees, and then Carney Lansford. Sweet Lou, Trammell's down there. Trammell batted in the ninth spot in the lower, at least the lower third of the lineup for quite a bit, so he's not going to be right up there. Plus, he got injured, so that's kind of a maybe is why he's there. Let's take a look at doubles. You're not going to see any Tigers here. Chet Lemon is up there, but that's all with Chicago. Johnny Ray, 161 doubles. Yeah, wow, 41, 41, 41. He's got 35 halfway through the season. That is insane. Batting .331. I wonder how many he'll end up with. Probably over 50 for sure. Alan Bannister, I think he led last year with 57. Yeah, out of nowhere with 57 for the Orioles. And, as a team, we do not hit very many doubles. Lemon hit a few for us before he got injured. He had 6 after having 7 with Milwaukee this year. That was a bad trade, right? He's injured for the year. Grounding into double plays. Who are the slow asses? Oh, it's a little bit of a surprise with George Brett. He's a contact hitter, so I guess he puts a lot of balls in play. And then Eddie Murray. Interesting. Well, he was with Baltimore. Yeah, you can see we hit and run with Eddie enough that he doesn't really hit into double plays with us. And then no doubt Lance Parrish belongs there. Okay, extra base hits total. George Brett, right up there. No Tigers. Steve Kemp was a Tiger, right? And okay. Games played. Who's played the most games? Mike Gates of Montreal, 482 games. And then Sweet Lou is number 2. He's getting tired an awful lot this season, though, so we've had to rest him more regularly. But he bats well versus lefties and righties, so there's no reason not to put him in there. And maybe that's part of the reason why he's up there. Eddie Murray on that list as well. Okay. Hits. Wade Boggs, almost 600 hits in the 3+ seasons. Whitaker and Trammell. Trammell 1 hit away from 500. And again, this is not career. This is just from 1980 to 1983. I guess we could do one of these as well, where we look at everyone's career leaders. That might be active leaders. That might be interesting. Hit by pitch. Who's been hit by pitch? Bump Wills. They don't call him Bump for nothing. He's got a bunch of lumps. 16 lovely lady lumps from getting hit by a pitch. Lance Parrish has 12. And, weird. This is weird. This just doesn't happen a lot in this game. That's interesting. Okay, home runs. This is what y'all came here for. Ricardo Saenz, in 3+ years, has 70 home runs. And he, was a rookie in 1980 at 18 years old. He led the American League with 34 home runs last year. He has 13 this year, so not really on the same pace, but he's got a better batting average, so maybe he's making more contact. And so he is the leader. And Tony Brewer, where is this coming from? I think this category is like a reward for somewhat being consistent, because no one has really broken out and just crushed it. I mean, 2012, 25, 10 for Brett, keeping in mind that 1981 was the strike-shortened year. And we're only halfway through this year. Tomorrow's game will be the halfway point for the 83 season. But, Eddie Murray, despite having a bad year for us, there's Willie Mays Aikens, having a bad year for us last year. He did have 17 combined, and he leads our team with 13 this year. I had my doubts that any Tiger would get to 20 last year, but we had 2, Gibson and Hatcher. So will we have, we do have the most home runs in the American League. How many will we have with more than 20? I don't know. Okay, so there's your home run leaders. Kind of fascinating. I mean, there's some light-hitting guys on here. I know who Len Matusik is, but I guess he's a guy who's getting everyday play, and because of that, he's showing some pop. So, it's kind of interesting. All right, let's take a look at the next category, which is going to be, I guess home run percent. Why not? Oh, it's Ricardo Saenz. 5% of the time, he goes deep. All right. Intentional walks. This would be a funny category to see if the total intentional walks that I've issued is equal to the combined leaders. Yeah, that would be funny to see. All right. So, anybody weird here? I mean, Shooty Babbitt? I guess it depends on who's behind you, right? I mean, that's what we're talking about here. So, Chet Lemon, he was on Milwaukee with a team that didn't have a whole lot. I think I said the White Sox earlier, but I meant Milwaukee, so. All right. So, let's take a look at the next category. On base percentage, that's always a good one. Ricky's right up there. This guy should be right up here with the top players. I don't know why it is for us that he gets on some streaks where he walks all the time and then he doesn't walk at all for a while. Look at his log. He's only walked 9 times in his last 20 games, and he has not walked since the 22nd. And he walked 4 times in a game, so it's like he makes up for it just in. If you take away those 4, he's batting 167. I got to pay more attention to my team. Ricky Henderson is a slumping hobo. Let's take a look at. So I mean, there's some weird names up there: Glenn Gulliver, Terry Poole, Rick Peters. The guy that's on Boston, he's not on there, but he walked a lot. I can't think of his name, the guy that was the manager. Whatever. Okay, let's take a look at OPS. Eddie Murray on there, and George Brett overall leading it with an 838 OPS in this time, which is over his career OPS. So, George Brett getting on base. Cool. Let's see what's next here. We don't care about plate appearances. Ribbies. George Brett. So George Brett's, I think we can already say, maybe the best player in baseball. No Hatcher on this list because it's only been this year and last year that he's really come alive, getting everyday duty. But he would probably, if he had started all 4 seasons, he would probably be on the list, right? We'll take a look at the defense momentarily. Runs scored, Sweet Lou. Wow, he's got a big lead too, 27-run lead over LaRue, Washington. Trammell and Ricky B. Ricky on the list. So, yeah, a bunch of speedsters. Kind of neat. All right. Sacrifice hits. This is the Mark Wagner division. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, there's always sacrifice bunts with pitchers. So you're not going to see any hitters on this list, I don't think. Yeah, these are all pitchers. And Craig Swan is the one that makes the most sacrifice. Sacrifice flies. George Brett. Wow. Bob Baylor. That's weird, right? Eddie Murray and Chet Lemon. Who also, with all the contracts, who's got the highest salary? Bob Welch, a $2.2 million salary. So if Ricky got what he's asking for, he would be the highest paid player in baseball. Would he be worth it? I don't know. I mean, if it were real baseball, I would say yes, but I don't know what. He got injured last year. He missed a whole bunch of the season. I don't know who he is, really. But there's 15 players as of now that are over $1 million. So, cool. All right. Slugging percentage is Dave Parker, who, of course, is in AAA because the Mets, I don't know what the hell they're doing. They'll be lucky to hang on. Otherwise, it's George Brett. So George Brett is the Brainiac Baseball MVP. It certainly looks like it. Here's steals. This is always a good category. Kim Allen, he just missed a month due to injury, and he got his first stolen base since he's been back. The guy's not hitting this year, but he's still stealing bases. He had 97 last year, and he petered out at the end because he was, I think there was still about 5 games to go, and he needed 3 for 100. I've never seen the computer generate a player with 100 stolen bases, and I still haven't. Neither have you, most likely. So there's your leaders. Ricky Henderson, 4th in stolen bases, and I believe he leads the American League right now, tied with Otis Nixon. No, Otis Nixon's got the lead with 40. All right. So we've got some work to do. That'll be the other fun aspect, is if we do tank it as we're tanking it right now, we just run Ricky every time he gets on. We have him steal 2nd, 3rd, home, maybe 1st, if I drink enough. Here is success. No Ricky on here. There's definitely no Ricky Henderson on this list. He was like a 60% stolen base guy. But Mookie has the best, and he, of course, is in the minor leagues for the Mets as well. They don't know what they're doing over there. Strikeout percent, Keith Drumright. Alan Trammell only 10% of the time strikes out. I'm surprised that we do not have more hitters on this list because we do hit and run a lot. So that's a lot of hitting to contact, and you would think we'd have more representatives, but we do not. Total bases, George Brett. Trips. Well, in 4 seasons, the best is 25. That's Willie Randolph with triples. Trammell on the list. He's only got 1 this year. And Ricky Henderson has 14. So, okay, we're coming to the end here. Walks. Glenn Gulliver. Again, this was a former Tiger, by the way. He was on the Tigers. We traded him away to the Cubbies. I don't know what we got in return. Oh, it was Rick Russell. That's who we got in return for a couple scrubs and Glenn Gulliver. We definitely lost that deal, didn't we? And what's this guy done? But find ways to get on base. That's pretty amazing. And Ricky's in the top 10, so that's good. And Eddie Murray, surprisingly. Okay, so that's going to do it for batters. Let's quickly just take a look at fielding. Do you want to? I mean, would you want to know even who the best fielders are at positions? I guess we're going to do this real quick. A quick glimpse. Catcher is Keith Moreland, who's not a catcher. He was a first baseman outfielder, but we'll grant him first. Butch Weiniger, Lance Parrish in the top 10. Okay. First base is Joe DeSa. With Keith Hernandez and Mike Squires. Okay, those are 2 very good defensive first basemen, so I can see that. Second base, Marty Barrett. He won the Gold Glove last year. Lou Whitaker won the Gold Glove before that. So Whitaker, 5th overall. Joe Pittman, the worst. I didn't even see who the worst was of the other categories. We'll take a note of that now. Steve Ontiveros of the Montreal Expos, number 1. A 982 at third base. That is crazy good. Look at the difference. Jim Gantner, the next best one. Mickey Hatcher having a terrible year this year, but he's really, 13th. I mean, it could be a lot worse. The worst is Paul Dade and Kevin Mitchell. Youch. What are their WAR is? Fielding WAR. Okay, so they're like right around even, which is crazy that they're the worst when Mickey Hatcher has cost us nearly 2 games. As a negative 16 range. That's insane. Okay, we're not going as fast as we should be. Here's the shortstop. It's Fran Mullins of the White Sox. Alan Trammell in the top 10. Doesn't feel like he should be there, but he is. And the worst is Odie Davis. Also worst name is Odie. We're looking at left field. Tom Grant, who is injured or in AAA. Yeah, he's in AAA, so he's never going to play again. Kirby Puckett in left. Right there. And we have no representative because we always trade our left fielders. Or we have Ricky going back and forth. Actually, all of our outfielders get injured, so I wouldn't be surprised if we have anybody on this list. Mike Hart, who the Mets just traded for, is the best center fielder. The Stegosaurus is on there, Dave Stegman. Ricky B. Ricky, 12th. And Chester Lemon. Lemon was such a great center fielder, but in this game, he is not good defensively. And in right field, it's Dave Winfield, followed by Sixto Lezcano, who's in the minor leagues for Richie Zisk as well. So, Dave Parker, the worst, 971. Maybe that's why one of the factors that he got demoted. Okay, what else defensively? Runners thrown out. Catchers. Dennis Littlejohn. That makes total sense. He's got the best arm. Oh, he's dropped down to 91. He was at 96, and then he was at 94. So now he's down to 91. His arm is getting tired from throwing everybody out. And then you got Butch Weiniger, Marv Foley, Ron Hassey, and, Lance Parrish right there. So that's pretty impressive. Any former Tigers? Yeah, Ed Putman is on there. I think he's on the Cubs right now. Okay. What's the percentage? 30%. The best is 36.8. And that makes sense because Little John is definitely the one step above everybody else. Was there outfield assist? I missed that. Yeah, here it is right here. Boom. Outfield assists. Gene Richards, Mean Gene Richards, Freddie Lynn, that makes sense. Chet Lemon, good arm, not for us though. Kirby Puckett on the list, that's good. Good to see. All right. Was there anything else for fielding that we would ever really care about? I'm going to say no. Okay, let's do pitchers, and then we will wrap this baby up. Complete games. 29 by Dennis Leonard. Where would they be without Dennis Leonard? He is their ace and probably deserves a better fate than being on that team. Let's see. ERA, obviously. Let's take a look at ERA. J.R. Richard of Houston. Yeah, we traded for the wrong player, although they won't trade him. He is untradeable on the IL for a couple more days. Ron Guidry's on there. Nolan Ryan. Craig Swan. Stephon Weaver. And a bunch of other good ball players, but no Tigers. That's a bad sign. Okay, pitching. Games pitched. How is this not all Detroit? I don't know. Roger Weaver, 210. Cappy, 191. Dave Smith, 179. And a bunch of other good players. But Steve Bedrosian of Atlanta, 215. Ground and double plays induced. Roger Slagle, 106. Jack Morris, 88. Dave Roosevelt, why is Rosie not on here? It's 56% of the time he gets a double play, and yet he's not on the list. All right. Home runs allowed. Oh, yeah, it's going to be Larry McCall. Pretty obviously, although Rosie catching up to the group really quick. He has given up a shit ton of home runs. But nothing like this guy. 36, 28, 58, which will be a new major league record. Bert Blyleven once gave up 50. That is the record in real life. And he's given up 22 this year. We need to see Larry McCall a couple more times. Bill Paschal, Floyd Bannister, John Tudor, Moose, and the two Tigers are right in there as well. So, okay, innings pitched. J.R. Richard, wow, by 23 innings, the best in the league. That's kind of amazing, right? He must have been on a four-man rotation. No, I guess not. 35 starts is possible. Okay. After that, innings per game. Mark Langston, probably this year's Cy Young Award winner. Almost 8 innings per game. I don't care about range factor. Quality starts, not a thing for the Tigers anyway. Saves. Okay, let's take a look at saves. Roger Weaver has 46. He will not be the closer much longer. We just have to get Dave Smith back into the thick of things and see how he's going to perform. But Mark Clear has the most saves, 94 for the Angels. And there's some consistency right there. 27-year-old doesn't go to free agency until 86. Wait, was he available for trade? No. All right. That's too bad. Okay. Save success. Frank LaCourte, 89.7%. And he's on the block. We could use someone with that kind of record, right? Goes to free agency at the end of the year, and he's in AAA. That should be a target for us, don't you think? Okay. Strikeouts pitched. Who's bringing the heat? That's J.R. Richards. So I think it's pretty obvious the two best players are George Brett and J.R. Richard. We have Bert and Jack Morris on the list. Coming to a close here. Strikeouts per 9. Nolan Ryan. Makes total sense. And wins. Who is the winningest pitcher so far? Rick Ownby is owning it. He had 23 wins last year, 13-4 this season. All of his career wins are in the Sim. Not so good in the NLCS last year, though. He went 0-2. J.R. Richard, Slagle, El Presidente, Nolan Ryan, Jack Morris on the list with 48. And he's having a good year. He's 10-3. I bet he'll be our only all-star this year. Okay, is that going to do it for the league leaders? Winning percentage. Wow, 70% for Stephon Weaver. That is remarkable. I guess you go 14-1 and 12-4 to start off your career. You're doing pretty darn good. Okay, so I guess that'll do it for the league leaders. We're going to take one quick look here at the schedule ahead. We will be going to Baltimore. They are 5 games back, and we have a 4-game series. This is the kind of thing that's going to set us either toward being buyers or sellers. We'll make a decision at the All-Star break what we're going to do. Are we going to buy? Are we going to sell? We need a starting pitcher. We could use a closer. We certainly could use a good reliever. We could use a third baseman, and you move Mickey Hatcher to DH. I'm okay with everything else. We'll make the catcher position work. We've got first base. We got all the other positions figured out by and large. So those are going to be the things that we have to make a decision on, and I'm going to call it right now at the All-Star game. We will make a decision whether we're going to be buyers or sellers, because I think this 7-game stretch will tell us all we need to know, and I think we're leaning over being sellers at this point. So, okay, that's going to do it for today's video, our summary video for the month of June. We're going to come back tomorrow with game 1 of the first series after into the month of July. Until then, everyone, have a great night.